everyone and welcome back to my channel for a brand new video on WRC 9. We're here for the game that I've been waiting for quite a long time, WRC 9. Of course, we've just finished the WRC 8 career mode, but we're now here with WRC 9 to kick off a brand new career mode, a brand new adventure. And yeah, most of you actually love the WRC 8 career mode, so probably we're waiting also for this series to kick off in the channel fairly soon. But yeah, here is the menu, similar to WRC 8. Of course, there's this orange sort of main color in the game as the official WRC website, and the whole championship has changed from the green color to the orange color, and I actually like that change because orange is my favorite color. So what we have here is pretty much home, where you have collabs and you can actually finally play online and organize tournaments just like in Dirt Rally 2.0. So that was very much needed in WRC 8, but we have it here on WRC 9, which is a nice addition. As you can see, the menu here and all that, and you've got the showroom, and I'm gonna be showing you very quickly the legendary cars. We got 4 new legendary cars, starting off with the Audi Quattro A2 from 1984, which is a DLC costing €4 at the moment, and you actually got it for free if you have pre-ordered the game. You got the Toyota Corolla 1999, which is also DLC for €4. I absolutely love this car, and I will make a separate video on it because it's such an amazing car. And these are the 2 new free historic cars, the Citroen Sahara WRC from 2005, and my favorite rally car of all time, the Ford Focus RS of 2007. And I have to admit, these are just amazing cars. I know people are going to say, well, the Subarus, well, the Mitsubishis, you know, and all that, but taking into consideration the budget that Kiloton has, these are some great additions to the game, and I absolutely love all of them. Also on the bonus cars, you have the Citroen C3 WRC. Citroen actually has left the official WRC championship, so they didn't actually have the rights to go on and put this car in, but purely because they love us and purely because they knew that some people still wanted to drive the Citroen C3 WRC, here it is. The Citroen C3 is still in the game. Of course, you can't pick it up in career mode or something like that, but you can still actually drive it properly. And yeah, I feel like it's a great thing to have in the game because some people really miss Citroen, and I will miss the car too. But here we are on the main thing for this episode, the career mode. We're going to be starting a brand new career mode here on WRC 9. And yeah, I've heard it's similar to the WRC 8 career mode, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's been quite a decent career mode and a huge improvement, obviously, from the previous games in WRC 8. So, did they really need to fix something? I bet it's all down to the physics, the handling, and probably the difficulty. As you can see right here, it's something that has changed. Last year we had beginner, or amateur, or hard, and realistic, and we competed on all seasons on hard difficulty. So, at the moment I have no idea which kind of difficulty is the hard difficulty that we used to play on. So for the time being, I'm going to be starting with 110, 115, somewhere between there, and we're probably going to be progressing session after session, which is another nice addition to the game, which is actually the fact that you can change the difficulty session after session. Something I've been saying since WRC 8, where we had to wait for a season to end to change the difficulty, which sucks pretty much, let's just say. And now, yeah, we can finally change the difficulty session after session, no matter where you are, training, extreme condition event, rally, whatever. But here, of course, the options are the same: Junior WRC and WRC 3. Of course, we chose WRC 3. I think there's not really a reason to go on and do Junior WRC. I feel like we are experienced enough to go on and start off our career with WRC 3. It used to be named WRC 2 and WRC 2 Pro. Now it's back to normal, back to the WRC 3 and WRC 2 pretty much. So it's back to normal. And yeah, this is the WRC 3 test. Reach the finish line within the time limit to impress teams and secure contact. You only have 3 tries around here. I feel like it's quite an easy challenge again. What is going on? Oh, it's actually... oh, it's automatic. Who said it on automatic? And the wheel feels... oh god, the wheel feels very weird. Oh god. Okay. Firstly, who the heck put it on automatic? Like, what? I said expert control. What is going on? ABS on? We need to change that. So okay, we're back, and the wheel still feels terrible. For some weird reason, the G29 is not calibrated correctly. It's probably because it actually gave me an update and I needed to restart my computer, but I just didn't. So I'm actually gonna get through this for now with an almost broken wheel. Like, when there's not really responsibility. I turn left and it turns left on the screen like some seconds after my input. So I don't know what's wrong. Probably need to restart my computer and all that. But we're just gonna end this and we're still gonna make it with a broken wheel. So you can see how good of a driver I am, I guess. So we made it. We're gonna be securing a contract from one of the three WRC 3 teams, I guess, that are available. So congratulations, we made it. Offers from Ford, Hyundai and Citroën. Specialization, reliability, crew. I'd like to have, I'm gonna be choosing offering me a 7 rally contract, and here we got 2 new rallies, the New Zealand rally and the rally of Japan. So I'm actually going to choose Citroën purely because of the rally selection. I really want to try out these brand new layouts here, and I've heard they're amazing. I feel like they always do an amazing job with the stage design here in Kiloton, and I'm looking forward to the brand new stages. But yeah, we're now into a brand new team. The motorhome looks a little bit different and all that, and obviously we're going to be starting this career mode with some training sessions as always, trying to get used to the car and all that. But motorhome looks a little bit different. It looks a bit more like home, let's just say. The floor is different, the walls are different and all that. They made it look more hospitable, if that's a word. But you can see here objectives, N15K in 4 weeks and perform at least 3 extreme condition events in 6 weeks. I don't know if we're going to be able to achieve that based on the fact that the first few events are pretty much pre-scheduled from the game. And yeah, look at this. It looks fairly decent, I say. There's a bit of variety from place to place, and I like it. I like the new design of the motorhome, but these are actually details. There's nothing really huge. There's not a huge difference here, but as you can see, this is the main thing. Session after session, you can actually change the difficulty, and this is something I always wanted to have on WRC 8. I found it like interesting that you could only change the difficulty after each season, so that's pretty much like learning that this difficulty is like that, and then you can make the choice. But now you also have 100 options of difficulty from 50 up to 150. So there's more variety in the difficulty, and there's actually a bigger chance of you like changing it session after session. So I really like this change, and went out, as you can see, on our first training session sort of, and Citroën C3. I feel like we're driving on WRC3. Feels like a fairly decent car in my opinion at the moment, but of course I can't really tell you anything about the physics just from a training event. We'll have to go on to a rally stage, and firstly it's obviously going to be the Monte Carlo rally, which is a tarmac rally, and tarmac was actually very good on WRC8, so I'm really looking forward to see what kind of improvements or changes they've made to the tarmac physics and the tarmac handling on this game. But of course I restarted my computer. Wheel is actually fine, and I'm going to be increasing difficulty for the next training event up to 120, just to see if it is any harder, because I found it fairly easy to achieve the target on this training session. So of course it's just the start of this career mode. We're going to find out which difficulty is better for us later on. But yeah, for the time being, this is actually a very interesting training session. It's got some of those water paths and all that, you know, and yeah, it's actually a fairly decent run. A little bit harder than the previous one, but still on this lap, as you can see, we're going to be completing it, and we're going to be getting yet another gold medal, and this one by almost a second there from the first gold medal. So for the time being, it seems like the difficulty is still a little easy, but I've got to wait and see after we finish the first rally. If we actually win Monte Carlo, we've never won Monte Carlo in the past, so it's going to be a bit of a mess with the difficulty if we make it. But we're also going to be getting an extreme condition event. So anyone who is not familiar with these events, they are fairly easy to understand. I will explain you later. For now, since we've leveled up, this is the R&D tree. if anyone's not familiar with the WRC career mode, this is an R&D tree. There's crew, team, performance, real ability, and this is pretty much the R&D tree where you upgrade things for your team. And whenever you change team, this gets defaulted again, and you have to redo the whole thing. But due to the specialization being on reliability, we already have 3 there. My main target when I get the resource points is to get all the members of the crew. So these are going to be the first upgrades we're going to be making. But for anyone wondering what the extreme condition events are, they're pretty much events at night, broken car, heavy rain, and yeah, you have to actually achieve finish the stage on the time that is set right there on the top right hand of your screen. So 53 seconds to finish this stage around Kenya with broken brakes, slightly damaged suspension, and the tires actually being at the verge of a puncture or something like that. But Kenya is actually, you cannot really understand these stages because of the rain. Okay, I just heavily damaged the suspension, but we're going to be making just about 2 seconds left on the session, but still going to be completing this. And yeah, you get money out of this yet again. 4K, of course. Whenever difficulty is higher, it's getting more, like the rewards are more and they are greater. So for now, wheel feels fine, car feels fine, and Kenya is actually an amazing location, which I'll be making a separate video on, sort of like a gameplay video, because I absolutely loved it. But now we are ready for the Rally of the Monte Carlo. 120% difficulty. I was thinking about putting it to 125, but I was like, okay, we've got to wait and see how the competition is on rallying. So if it's very easy, next episode it's actually very easy and we win by a huge margin. Next episode is going to be on 130% difficulty. As always, the damage effects unrealistic. Permacrash is going to be off, at least for the time being. But every single season we go through, we make the wrong tire this season around Monte Carlo. So this time I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to trust the game. Hard, dry asphalt tires for this first 2 events, and we got 2 special stages. They're fairly short and they are both going to be at night, so it's actually very interesting because we're starting our first ever rally on WRC 9 under night conditions. And to be honest with you, the years have passed and I've learned the Monte Carlo stages by hand. Like, I know the stages very well, and of course tarmac feels amazing on this game on WRC 8. Let's see what the differences are on WRC 9, and we're pretty much now ready to go and start our first ever stage on WRC 9. WRC 3, driving the Citroen C3 or C2, I don't really know which car it is. I feel like it's a C3, but this is the first stage around Monte Carlo, and it's actually a stage that I've done plenty of practice on WRC 8 due to the esports. I actually ended up in the top 20 for the first event of the esports on WRC 8, but of course I had to give up my efforts. I couldn't train anymore because of my studies for the exams. But now exams are done, you know, school is over forever for me. Now I gotta go to university, but that's a whole different story. But for now, the tarmac physics feel very similar to WRC 8. On that corner that we've just gone through, you used to feel such a weird understeer. For some weird reason, this sign wasn't there last year. That's why I cut this corner. They put it there so that you don't have to cut. But 67 thousandths of a second faster than the second position guy, probably, which is probably going to be Max Osborne, I'm going to guess. So far so good. And now this is the hard part, which is the uphill. A lot of hairpins going up the mountain to then go onto the snowy part of this stage, which is around 30% or something after this fast corners right there. And there you have it, 4.2 seconds now the gap, despite me not being very fast. But look at how unstable the car was there. If that was WRC 8, I would have actually lost the control of the car. So physics seem to be improved when losing a little bit the stability on bumps and jumps. So of course I'm not going to be making any conclusions on this video yet, and probably by the end of the video I will have a decision on the physics change on this game. But here and the snow, what I remember from the previous game is that you had to be very cautious on the brakes because you would lock up very easily, and this doesn't seem to be the case on this game. When you're on dry asphalt tires and around that surface, it seems to be a little bit easier. It feels more natural on the braking, and that's a very good thing to see that they've learned from the previous game. I was a little bit like, why is it so hard to brake? Of course, I always had the excuse that, okay, dry tires, snow tarmac, it has to be tough under braking. But this time, this year, it feels vastly different and far more natural in my opinion. And now we're away from the snow. Of course, there's another snowy part after this, and now onto the fast tarmac part, as you can see right here. And we've had a very good stage so far. I don't know if it's a difficulty on my driving, but I feel like I've been fairly smooth. 7.7 second gap. I've been fairly smooth. Of course, I'm not the fastest at the moment. I'm still learning the game as we're back to snow now. And I have to say, it just feels so much different under braking. It feels like you can actually brake on that surface. So, really enjoying it for the time being. And let's listen a little bit to the engine sounds, which in my opinion are fairly improved to the previous game, where they felt a little bit numb, let's just say.
Into right 4 tightens, don't cut, 30. Left 4, short 50. Caution, hairpin right, 50. Right 6 tightens, narrows. And right 4 short into left 5 short, 120 over crest. Brake, into right 5, into left 6, keep left, 30, right 5 cut, narrows, 30 for finish.
Final corner, across the finish line at 5:15.7, and that is actually going to be a fairly dominant time. And it's not actually Osberg on second position, it's actually a Polish guy. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name, with a Skoda Fabia. 10.1 second gap from second position. That's a very, very good start, a very strong start to this season, and probably the difficulty is a little bit easier. Okay, ignore that. Let's restart. Probably the difficulty is slightly easier than what it used to be. But yeah, I'll probably need to increase it up to 130 for the next rally, because for the time being it feels a little bit easy, and my driving seems to be vastly improved from the previous game, and that's down to the game improving its physics. And tarmac feels always good on the WRC games, and at the moment it feels even better when you are over bumps. Like, I didn't lose the control of the car once. I was always under control. Of course, I had my moments, but I could always like control it. It wouldn't like go on a crazy spin on the back end or something like that. So for me, that's a plus at the moment, and it feels much better than WRC 8 does. So I'm gonna let you enjoy for a little bit the engine sound, because I also feel it is slightly improved from the previous game. As I want you actually, before I leave, I want you to notice how I brake at the snow, because it's yet again another improvement on this game.
Left 4 short, into right 5 short, 50. Left 4, 100. Right 5 long, tightens 4, 30. Caution, hairpin left. Hairpin left, 50.
15.6 second gap, and you noticed how you have to be cautious in the snow surface, but with the dry tires, but it feels more natural. It's not as tough as it used to be, which was actually for no reason whatsoever. But now, through those hairpins, number one tip: don't drop down, don't shift down to first gear fairly soon. Like, shift down to first by the time just before you're going to turn in. Slightly handbrake, let the car turn in, and that's pretty much how you take the hairpins on this game. It's not as hard as it feels a little bit more natural yet again than what it used to be on WRC 8. So overall, it seems like a fairly improved physics engine, and the car feels more natural. Of course, I can't compare it to WRC Rally 2.0. There's no reason to compare it to that game anymore. But if you really want to hear a comparison, yet again, it's such an enjoyable rally game, and WRC Rally 2.0 is also an enjoyable rally game. I can't really choose yet again. They're both different rally games, and I wish that this battle between Killer Tom and Codemasters would continue, because they were offering us two completely different rally games with negatives and positives both. And yeah, it's such a shame that Codemasters will get the rights and we will not have this rivalry of Killer Tom and Codemasters going on for a couple of more years. But either way, this is going to be on a completely different video. There's a lot of chattering over this stage, but a 23.1 second gap from Marco Balasia on the Citroen, so that's a very good stage by him, as Osberg is now up into second, while my gap has increased up to 35.4 seconds and 38.5 seconds from Stefan Sarazan. So now it's time for the repairs. You know the thing, 45 minutes to repair the whole parts of the car, and I can't really fix the entirety of the car, so I have to let the brakes and the suspension not replace. They're in quite decent condition, so I don't really have to replace them. And as now we've got Lucerum special stage, and then we got the power stage. So for now it's actually going to be snowing and raining and snowing on this next stage, so it's going to be the first time we're going to be trying out the new physics on WRC9 rainy tarmac. Let's see. The previous game it felt good. It was fairly realistic, but I just could never get used to that physics like the rainy tarmac. And let's see, is it going to be different this year, or I'm still going to be fairly slow under those conditions? Let's see. Let's wait and see, guys.
Caution, junction right into left 4 long, tightens. Into flat right, and right 4 short, 30. Right 4 short, into kinks, 50. Brake, hairpin right, into flat left.
Oh, huge amount of understeer there through the hairpin, and that's down to the rain. So it still has a fairly difficult handling when it's raining on tarmac, and it's normal to have the difficult handling. As you can see, 3.2 seconds there off the pace, so that's not a good sign of things to come. This stage doesn't seem to be very strong for us, but after a point I was like, we have a huge lead from second position. There's not really a reason to push. Let's just get the car back to the finish line safe without a lot of damage, as I'm crossing to wall after wall, because next up we got the power stage, and that's what matters pretty much. We've got a fairly secured victory, and I really want to have a car in a good condition so we can get those 5 extra points from the power stage. But we had one green sector, not by a lot, just reduced like the gap by 3/10 or something like that. And around the final corner, slight contact there with the wall. Unfortunately, we're gonna get a slight damage on the suspension. Don't know how is that gonna affect the final stage, but as you can see, a 7-second gap from the guy that won this stage, which is Johan Bonato. So a bit of a variety in the winners and on the winners of the stage in this rally, but overall still 30.4 seconds ahead of Osberg. It's almost like a secured victory there. It's just down to the fight between Sarazan and Osberg on who's going to be getting that second position. But away we go for the power stage. Let's see how much this slight suspension damage is going to affect our driving. On the previous game, WRC8, any slight damage would really affect the car, and it was quite annoying because like you wouldn't damage a lot the car and it would still like feel like it was badly damaged. It felt like you had no suspension. Like by the time the suspension indicator turned yellow, the stage was over. As at the same time the brake now indicator has turned yellow, so that might be like 75% durability on both brakes and suspension, something like that. So let's see how much is it going to affect our driving, and yeah, we'll come back on that fairly soon, as I need to really fix my driving at the moment. We're not be getting any points if we keep on driving like that.
Right 4 tightens, into square left over bridge and square left 30. Kinks, into right 5 brake, tightens 2 short. Into left 2 opens.
This stage is actually very bad. This stage is very bad. I've made so many mistakes, and it's not even the weather. The rain is not really affecting me at the moment. It's just my driving being very slimy, let's just say. It just feels very not very careful, let's just say. But for the time being, brakes and suspension damage isn't really affecting me, which is a good thing because it's just yellow. Like why would it really affect my driving? It's just yellow indications. If it's red, then okay, but yellow indications shouldn't really affect the driving so much. So another plus for this game. The damage model is slightly fixed from WRC 8, which was a bit of a mess if you ask me. Like, you would crash on walls and you would get like red brakes instantly, which wouldn't really make sense. But in this game, yellow indications and still not really affecting my car, the performance of the car, so feels good.
Caution, hairpin right, 80. Caution, brake left 2, short into right 4, medium. 80. Right 2, keep in, don't cut, into left 3, short, 50. Left 3 shorts, narrows, and left 4 narrows.
I always miss this corner. I always run wide through there, but it's a tradition, you know. 6.4 second gap. We're probably going to be securing that power stage win and those 5 extra points around Monte Carlo. It's actually quite crazy that we're going to be getting our first victory ever around this rally. It's not that I'm actually slow around here. It's just it's always something unlucky happening with the tires or with the damage. But this time round, first episode of the season, gonna be getting that victory and probably gonna be getting those 5 extra points. The car is badly damaged at the moment. Even the engine and the turbo are damaged. But oh god, I ran wide through there. That's a wall. That's gonna give us now red suspension bar. Thankfully, we're right on the final corner, this right-hander, and we're going to be coming across the line with a 4:45.4, and I feel like that's going to be it. Yeah, it's just about a victory. 8.4 seconds ahead of Mant, because we're going to be getting 4 points. I'm going to be getting 5 points out of this rally, so that's the perfect start of the career mode. 38.8 second gap from Osberg, going to be increasing the difficulty for sure on the next rally. Same celebrations as always, but that's fairly decent. 30 points already in the bag from the first rally, so not disappointed at all. But the next rally, which is going to be the Swedish Rally, we're going to be increasing the difficulty up to 130%, and I feel like Jimmy Broadman has it on 135%, something like that, which if we find 130% easy again, we're going to be putting it up to 135, but we'll see about that. I just want to be challenged by the AI as much as I want to lose. To feel challenged by the game, but that's a good start. And overall, I feel like the game feels much better than WRC 8, and I can confirm that at least for tarmac. We'll see for the other surfaces like snow and gravel. I'm going to be telling you on the next episode. That's a lot of level ups and a lot of resource points probably. Also 28k in the bag, and yeah, that's a very good start to this career mode. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Tell me down in the comments below any suggestions to improve the videos around this series, because it's going to be the main series on the channel for probably the rest of the year and the rest of the year until WRC 10 comes out or something like that. But yeah, now we're going to be getting also a financial advisor and an engineer. We've got everything now under the bag. All the crew members are here to help us, and now I can't actually get another guy on the reserves. I need to get a... Now we have a free spot, and I should probably try and recruit this guy. Apparently I can't. Apparently there's no reserve places, but I just don't understand that. We're gonna forget about that. Probably a bag first day patch. We're gonna be getting a few patches for sure, but now paying the repair costs every single time, and that's pretty much all about it. That was it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. As always, tell me down in the comments below what your feelings are about this game. Obviously the career mode is similar to WRC 8, but that's not really a problem. But the physics, at least for tarmac, and the handling of the car is vastly improved. Over bumps and jumps and all that, it felt more natural and not more stuck to the ground. It felt like I could actually control it over the bumps. So yeah, that's a pro for me for this game. We're gonna find out about the cons of this game later on to this career mode. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like this and share it with any of your friends that are looking for fresh WRC 9 or in general rally content. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and until the next video guys, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.